the lucky round 7 of the 2018 FF1M Championship and the beginning of the second third of the Championship. And I'm being joined by Shake and Bake's Courtney Cass.
Hey yo.
And it's going pretty well for you so far. You've had a win in Monaco, and you've had a double points finish at Road America, which was a bit of a bloodbath.
Yeah, I'm in the odd position where, fingers crossed, my cars are okay reliability-wise. Why did I say that?
I mean,
I've just jinxed myself completely now.
You probably have done, yeah. But you have been very reliable this season. Just the one engine failure, which came from Fernando Alonso, and Ryan had a non-mechanical at Monaco when he crashed. But we're in Canada, and this Gilles Villeneuve circuit with quite a few chicanes, the most tricky of which being the final chicane, which in this world you normally see dive bombs followed by corner cutting, and then in the rare occasions, if the car's damaged, they try and reverse or shortcut back into the pit lane, and it usually goes wrong. I don't know if AJ's fixed this issue, but didn't it used to be that they'd struggle to overtake each other on this configuration, but he changed the racing lines? He changed the racing line. He actually used a different variant of Montreal back in 2013, and the gearing was such that it was just very hard to overtake on. So, Friday qualifying A saw Alessandro Farina ahead of Sebastian Vettel, and further down you can see that Galaxy have once again failed to qualify. That is 6 out of 7 failures to qualify. Not great. And then qualifying B, topped by Kevin Magnussen ahead of Mason Taylor. That was a good showing from the Kiwi. And Monolith failed to qualify for the 4th time this season. They scored points last time out in that bloodbath of a race, along with Tilsley, which means that every team except for Galaxy has scored points.
Poor Galaxy.
Poor Galaxy, yeah. So, there is a bit of a situation involving one of the teams, which I'll reveal in a moment, involving tyres, because it seems, according to the timing sheets that AJ sends to me, one of the teams had used mediums for both Saturday and Sunday. So I'll reveal that a bit later on, but for the moment it's Alessandro Farina on pole position, second consecutive ahead of Sebastian Vettel. All Judd Row 2 with Mason Taylor, another great showing from the Kiwi ahead of Kevin Magnussen in the FJR. And Chuck Bucknam 5th for Mitchell, good qualifying from him. Not his best of the season, that was a 3rd at Mugello. And Daniel Ricciardo 6th on the other Andrew. Lewis Hamilton got a podium last time out at Road America. He starts 7th ahead of James Clark. And completing the top 10, Caterina Caracciola and Max Verstappen in the first of the 2 Willows.
I'm wincing because my cars haven't appeared yet.
No, and I've got a theory to that, which you may elaborate on in the future, but it's Valtteri Bottas 11th ahead of Fernando Alonso 12th.
Okay, that's not so bad.
Not so bad. Thomas Gonzalez, one of the more impressive drivers this season, is in 13th on the grid, and Vino Kimmonen, who crashed at Road America, is 14th. George Russell 15th ahead of Roman Grosjean in 16th. Grosjean had a good fighting race last time at Road America, which rewarded him with a 4th. Best qualifying for Antonio Giovinazzi in 17th place ahead of Charles Leclerc. Race winner at Road America, way down in 18th. Sergio Perez 19th. Kimi Raikkonen 20th on the grid in the first of the 2 AJs. And where's your other driver? He's on the back row alongside Mattia Alfonsi.
Oh yeah, I've got another driver, haven't I?
Right, so this situation facing one of the teams, it's GRM apparently have used mediums for both Saturday and Sunday, which isn't really in the rules, unless it was a graphical mistake that AJ made. But if it is the case that GRM have used both mediums in Saturday and Sunday, because the rules are that you have to use medium and soft on the 2 different days. Unless you're running hard, you can use that as many times as you want, but yeah. I'm willing to let it slide, providing that they keep out of the way of Magnussen and Caracciola.
Yeah, like you're going to the head teacher going, Miss, you did this. You called her name when you weren't looking.
Not that I'm trying to be a narc or anything, but anyway, 5 lights on. Wait for the race start. 5 lights go out. And who gets away best out the front row? All right start from Farina. But that's enough to lead into the first corner as the top 4-5 as you are before. But Hamilton making up a position on Daniel Ricciardo. And Katerina Caracciolo has gained a place at the expense of who was 8th on the grid. It was, I'm having a look here. I've got it right here. Why don't I just refer to my notes as Mason Taylor has got Kevin Magnussen all over the back of him. 8th was Clark. So Katerina Caracciolo has jumped James Clark at the start of the race.
Now, typically you've gone race heavy in your qualifying setup, in your car setup, rather than qualifying heavy. So I'm wondering if you've done the same, but you've got a lot of pace.
I must say I'm not particularly confident for this race because Magnussen, I did put a slight qualifying tint onto his setup. Caracciolo's not actually running any setup at all. She was concentrating on engine power for Saturday and then reducing that back for the Sunday warm-up. So I've done engine mapping, but the two Mitchells about to go into combat into the Champions chicane. Not quite making that one stick. There's Bottas. Now, if he does something to Alonso, which doesn't look likely because Alonso's overtaken him, then since GRM are running mediums a lot, then you could have grounds for a protest. And Caracciolo has taken Ricciardo, actually, so Caracciolo moving up to 7th. Magnussen still behind Taylor, who is going to be very difficult to overtake. CBAs have been very quick in a straight line.
I'm going to assume it was a graphical error. But there was a conversation we were having earlier where I might have to narc on you.
Yeah.
Actually. Where, so my understanding is when you set your... And AJ, I'm running to you now as the big head teacher, and I need to dob in one of my fellow students, but I was under the impression that the race and qualifying setup is consistent across the entire weekend, whereas Mr. James Brickles was saying, I changed my Sunday setup by changing the formula on the spreadsheet. So I'm going to guess that he's been wise to that and he's just taken your Friday, like your first Friday reading rather than...
Saturday.
Yeah, or the Saturday reading, yeah.
Clark versus Ricciardo, and Ricciardo bouncing over the gravel at the final chicane as he gets passed by Clark for 8th. And there's going to be a bit more kerfuffle further back. I think JRM of Bottas is dropping back very steadily as Verstappen challenges Ricciardo and Gonzalez versus Alonso for 11th. I think Gonzalez just took Alonso there.
Also, whilst I'm at it, I smelt some funny fuel coming out of the back of that CBA. I don't trust that that's legal, AJ. Please do something about that as well.
Now let's have a look at Charles Leclerc.
Oh, that wing doesn't look protocol.
Up the inside of Grosjean into the chicane.
Oh, cut the corner. Disqualify him.
Well, he's made that position work, but look at the Tilsley coming up alongside. I think, is that George Russell or is that Antonio Giovinazzi? 3 wide into the first corner. And oh my gosh!
All right, now that one does deserve a penalty.
Right, is that Leclerc out? Yep, Leclerc is out of the race. And Giovinazzi with a broken, no nose, as does Grosjean. So those two survive, but Leclerc out of the race.
Right, let's watch that back. That was a good classic GP4. 3 into 1 doesn't go.
Yep, so it's Grosjean and Giovinazzi making the contact and wallop!
Ooh, so he became like a Beyblade, didn't he?
Yeah. Or something from Love Honey.
Thank you for reminding me of that.
Now let's see, Fernando Alonso versus Daniel Ricciardo into the champion chicane. Easy position gained, so... And I'm just looking up further up. Gonzalez now taking Ricciardo as well. And look at George Russell. He's going pretty well. I've noticed the Tilsley goes up the inside of Gonzalez, but not quite making that one stick. There were still yellows, but I think that's the remnants of the Leclerc-Giovinazzi-Grosjean incident. I've noticed the Tilsley is very fast in a straight line because Rainer Kimmonen really struggled to overtake that Tilsley of Russell. As we look at, that's Caracciolo versus Bucknam, and I think Magnussen's coming under pressure from Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton was very quick in warm-up, actually. He was 4th quickest, so Mitchell showing some good pace at the Montreal circuit, and it seems that Lewis is slowly finding his mojo after what has been a pretty wretched start to the season.
I honestly forgot that he was still in it. It's been quite anonymous the last... Was he like last season quite anonymous as well?
Last season, he got off to a flying start with 3 wins, but then the car lost competitiveness, and as Hamilton, is he going to look at the inside? Magnussen's driving a very defensive race so far. Mitchell lost competitiveness, and then Mitchell decided to go for stats because Hamilton took a lot of pole positions in the back end of 2017, but no results to go with it. So rounding the hairpin at lap 6, I will just say that quickest in warm-up was actually Leclerc. So the race pace that Tornado were going for, absolutely wasted on Leclerc.
That's the danger of going for a race-heavy setup, isn't it? You pop yourself right into the middle of the pack and open to all sorts of carnage and shenanigans.
Absolutely, yeah. Hamilton in the slipstream of Magnussen. No need to defend this time. By the way, Magnussen was 13th fastest in warm-up, and second was Alonso. A fastest lap for Gonzalez. Well, there's Bryant.
Oh, for God's sake. It's alright, it's only Bryant.
It's Nolan Bryant.
No, I like Nolan as well. Of all the second drivers I've had, I think he's been my favourite because he's actually pretty competitive.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's today hopefully got the lion's share of the unreliability.
Megatron's gone mega bang. That's not that mega, actually, just smoky. So, yeah. As we switch to Caracciola, who is a bit stuck behind Chuck Bucknam, and in fact Caracciola is going to pit at the end of this lap, expecting a mixture of 2 and 3 stops. Most of the field did 2 stops at Road America, and only Hulkenberg did 3 because there was something wrong with his car. Nothing wrong with Hulkenberg's car, except he's not in the race. Oh, that's a bit tight. Yeah, Mitchell's are not the fastest cars in the straight line, but neither's mine. And yeah, I've got a theory as to my car. So, Monaco, I didn't quite delve into this enough when I commentated with Willows in the last race, but I did go very qualifying heavy for Magnussen at Monaco, but I didn't find a lot of time, whereas CBA, running a similar setup, found way more time, and it's to do with the efficiency of the car. Because my car's not quick in a straight line, when you switch the engine power up, it doesn't amplify it as much as with a car with a lot of efficiency, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah, and that theory does lead itself as to why my car was a bit more competitive, because one of the strengths my car has is its efficiency. Not much grip, but plenty of efficiency. And
whereas Monaco, believe it or not, is not that grip dependent. It's all about the efficiency, which efficiency is not just top speed, it's acceleration as well. Because I think the CBAs were hitting 312 kilometres an hour down going into the chicane, whereas I was hitting 302.
Yeah, quite a big difference, but not as noticeable as it would be somewhere like Monza, obviously.
Yeah. So both FJRs have pitted, so they're definitely, I'm pretty sure they'll be running 3-stop strategies for both. Short pit lane, so you can run 3 stops, no problem. And Magnussen, good stop, 4.8 seconds. Rejoins. Where's Lewis Hamilton? He just crossed the line there. So Hamilton had made an earlier pit stop, but Magnussen has stayed ahead, good set of in-laps.
This is the pit out as well that I much preferred to the current one because of the hilarity of Schumacher in 1998, I think it was, with Frentzen.
Yeah.
Where it was just the worst exit ever.
Yeah.
Just remember Frentzen like waving his hands as he's having the accident, just like, what have you done?
Yeah, he jokes about that now on his social media. Frentzen's become a bit of a light-hearted meme on the online scene. He's sort of returned from the absence, and yeah, is
it just me, or was the right front tyre a bit wider than the left? Is this just because of the parallax of where I'm stood, or have they accidentally put a rear tyre on the front? Can we do that?
Are you narking on Andrew racing?
Yeah, it looks a bit suspicious there, AJ. I think you should have words with him.
So this is the temporary battle for third. It's between Chuck Bucknam and James Clark. Chuck Bucknam holding up the traffic a bit. Clark not pitted. That's a 2-stop strategy that he's running. So he needs to clear Bucknam. And the Mitchell, I've noticed, isn't that great in a straight line. And is Clark going to evidence that? Or is Bucknam going to defend aggressively into champion chicane? And, well, that's pretty simple. So, yeah, Buckingham holding on to third grimly.
I wonder if we'll see anyone hit that wall. I don't know if the AI is... it was a bit of a half-assed attempt there.
It would have been a bit of a brave one. By the way, Vettel rejoined fairly comfortably ahead of Kevin Magnussen. So Vettel holding on. Magnussen's a bit of a specialist around Montreal because he's had 4 previous races here, all of which in the points. He had a 6th in his first appearance 2014. Should have been a 7th, but Jensen conked out on the last lap, much to my pain. Then Magnussen came 2nd in 2015, won it in 2016, and then a 5th in 2017. So 100% points scoring record as Clark continues to try and harry Chuck Buckingham for what is at the moment 3rd place. Top 6 not having stopped just yet. Is Clark going to look up the inside into the first corner? No, Bucknam's seeing to that. And so it's a 4-way battle between Buckingham, Clark, Alonso and Kinnunen. And Vettel at the moment sits 25.2 seconds. Hasn't made up as much time on Farina compared to what I was expecting. So maybe it's the low fuel which is the more beneficiary factor around Montreal.
It tends to change from circuit to circuit, doesn't it? Which makes it quite exciting.
Yeah, Road America, that was a very high tyre wear circuit because new tyres were extremely powerful. As into the pits, following Roman Grosjean, but he's a lap back compared to Alessandro Farina.
Now, my knowledge of all this is nowhere near yours, as nobody's is. But in terms of the... because I've heard some kind of controversy around the position of the pits and being effective in this current year. Is that right? Where it's an advantage to pit first?
So it's an advantage to have an earlier pit garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for whatever reason they're courteous.
Yeah.
At the AI here. So Farina, that wasn't a lot of fuel that Farina took on board. So maybe he's sticking with a 3-stop strategy, but with a late first stop.
Now, with the order of the pits, how is that decided again?
Clark! That's a Gajir out of the race, so Clark is not going to be able to challenge Chuck Buckingham for 3rd place. And
Polar Bears International.
yeah. Was it a gearbox failure that he had? Or was it
only just seen that.
Some interesting sponsors. It was a suspension failure for James Clark as we ride on board with Mason Taylor, race leader for the CBA. And he's performed pretty well at this meeting so far, has Taylor. Was 2nd quickest in his group in qualifying, pre-qualifying that was, and 3rd on the grid here. So yeah, CBA's performed pretty well. As a pitter for Alonso coming into the pits at the end of this lap. The pit order, it used to be in teams championship order from, so the winner came first, they get the first pit box, but AJ's doing it a bit differently this year. I think it's to do with the ordering of like when cars make it into the race.
Right, so it's by pre-qualifying essentially.
Yeah, it's by pre-qualifying.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
And Alonso rejoins. That was behind Caracciola and Thomas Gonzalez. So the later first pit stop hasn't worked out well so far for Alonso, but I didn't quite catch the fuel load he had, but it could be 2 stopping.
Alonso, currently fastest man on track.
That would have been as he entered the pits because the timing line's a bit early. So you see on the top right, 1 minute 13 is Chuck Bucknam's fastest lap. But he crosses a timing line there, which signals the pit lane speed entrance.
Right, I see.
So it's not a true fastest.
Oh, way to dash my hopes.
Sorry. That was a good stop for Buckingham. Similarly good stop for Taylor, who rejoined...
Could you do that on the last lap?
Pit.
Yeah, going to the pit, so...
There was something, actually. It was in the 2017 race. So, on his penultimate lap, Mattia Alfonsi had a technical problem, which meant he had to come into the pits. The leader, or the winner at that point, I think it was Väinö Kinnunen, passed him before Kinnunen won the race, but because the pit lane timing line is early, compared to where it should be at the start-finish line, Alfonso was able to rejoin and complete the last lap and score points.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, that was a peculiar one.
I remember seeing a lot of hoo-ha about that, and it went above my head, and I just kind of went, okay, I'll get on with my day. It wasn't one of my guys.
Yeah, there was another one later on. I think it was not to do with the pit lane, but it was at Macau where Kimmonen broke down at the start of his last lap, and then Daisuke Sakia, who was doing a one-off race for Willows, passed him on track, but broke down at the very end of that final lap, but it didn't finish ahead of Kimmonen.
Now that was important, wasn't it? Because that meant that didn't it mean that that Tornado wasn't able to score extra points with that car?
So it meant that Tornado equalled your record rather than not beat you, not even tie with your record. So yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right, back to some action because Gonzalez is challenging Caterina Caracciola for 7th place. Caracciola not running any setup. She's been trying to eke some extra power in qualifying and then reverts that back to some more reliable package for the race. And so far, all 6 Judd cars are still running, so that's better reliability compared to Road America, where we had 4 mechanical failures and Mason Taylor crashing at the carousel.
Yeah, your cars have been in the wars a bit. Or the cars powered by your engines have been in the wars a bit recently.
But I think because I've had all 3 Judd teams make the race, the development is more stable compared to if it was just me running the engine.
Yeah.
Which is nice, I have to say. As rounding the Casino hairpin, or it's also known as La Pongle, which is French for hairpin, I think. Some of these corners don't have names, so it's our duty to give them some names. As Gonzalez is up the inside into the champion chicane. He is this time, and this time Gonzalez makes it past as Caracciola does a bit of lawn mowing. And versus Alonso now, and Vino Kimmonen's lurking up as well. Is Alonso going to outbrake Caracciola into the first corner, or is Caracciola going to hang it round the outside? She does indeed.
Yeah, the AI definitely can fight. Not having that issue again with the previous version, where they struggle to get past each other.
Yes, as now up the inside this time goes Alonso. No, Caracciola hanging on. I think she's doing Magnussen a favour. If she's holding up Alonso, she's helping Magnussen out. But let's see, this time Alonso is 2-stopping. He's got a lot of fuel on board.
That was 2 moves, AJ. 2 moves. Give him a penalty.
Give her a penalty.
I'll give you a penalty.
Give me a penalty.
Yeah.
Well, is there going to be a penalty into the first corner for somebody? Nope, Caracciola has got the widest car on the circuit at the moment. It is still Farina leading, by the way, on lap 29 by 15.8 seconds from Sebastian Vettel, who so far his car's been more reliable, as this time Alonso takes 8th place off of Caracciola. Now Caracciola has got Kimmonen and Raikkonen all over her 6.
Kimmonen also, I'm willing to bet, going with a very race-heavy setup.
Yes, I did qualify down in 14th, I think it was.
Yeah, just a few behind Alonso.
14th then was 3rd quickest in warm-up, but he's now ahead of Caracciola, having outbraked her into the Virage Senna, as Thomas Gonzalez is going to make a pit stop from 7th. So trying to get out of the way of Chuck Bucknam. But a 3-stop strategy, currently down in 7th. Not going great for Gonzalez this time.
It's a long race, though. Plenty of things can still happen. The most important thing for Thomas Gonzalez is endurance. Speaking of which, this is a good point for me to do one of my ad reads.
Can you read this ad read in the style of Harry Enfield's impression of Nelson Mandela?
I don't know if I should be... can I put that on the internet?
Well, if you just do whichever voice you want.
I can try. I mean, I made a bit of a fool of myself last time when I was doing my Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. Nah, I've lost the flow now. You got me scared.
Nelson Mandela's love honey toy. It will shake your bake.
Well, tell you what, I'll show you the item, and you can do the voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
A very good evening. I'm Vanessa Mandela. Do you like using toys in the bedroom? Or you will like the new Love Honey Stamina Penis Pump 8-inch. It is on offer down from £39.99 to $19.99. Nelson Mandela's Penis Pump. Shake your bake.
Well, that was much better than I could have done. Thank you.
Some pit stops are going on, as Hamilton had made a pit stop, as does Farina, who'd opened up quite a big lead over Sebastian Vettel. So that later first stop has allowed him to use more of his medium Goodyears. And as a result, he was about, 15 seconds ahead of Vettel before making his pit stop. 6.6, not the best stop, but effective nonetheless. And I think he's actually going to maintain the lead, as Vettel doesn't come through the final chicane and instead comes into the pits, as does Magnussen.
Vettel on the back of some absolutely awful luck. I would feel sorry for him, but he's a lousy traitor, so obviously I don't. But if I did have emotions, I would be feeling sympathy for him at the moment.
Just in front of Väinö Kimminen, so that was 5th place for Vettel, 6th for Kimminen. Magnussen a little bit further back, and he's actually been jumped by Lewis Hamilton. So that earlier pit stop for Hamilton has meant that he's got ahead of Magnussen. I think Caracciola going to be making a pit stop at the end of this next lap. Magnussen's pit indicator was red, which means that your teammate is coming into the pits. We're on board with Kimminen chasing Vettel. Where's he going to make an overtake? This is manufacturer climax versus customer climax. So Tornado do have a theoretical horsepower advantage. Vettel's got some good traction out of the casino hairpin.
So is Vettel actually the fastest on track then, or did that's because he pitted?
It's because he was pitting.
Yeah.
Kimminen taking a lot of time out of Vettel on the brakes into the chicane. And is he going to look up the inside into the first corner? Vettel is moving over and preventing Kimminen from making an attack. And both actually rejoined behind Fernando Alonso. So the two stopping Alonso is in a net 4th place. And he was actually the fastest on the circuit last time out.
I don't think he pitted last lap, did he?
No, that's a genuine.
Yeah.
Fastest on circuit.
Oh,
it's Farina! Both Gajira's out of the race. So, like as in Road America, both Gajiras have mechanical issues. And what's the issue with this?
It's like a loose wheel or something. Puncture.
It's a puncture. So Clark had a suspension failure. Farina's had a tyre failure. Now that has opened up the race dramatically, because now that's put Mason Taylor into the lead of the race for, I think, the first time in his career. Bucknam's second. Alonso is... Well, we're on board with Fernando Alonso chasing Chuck Bucknam for the next 2nd place now. And the first of the 3 stoppers, Sebastian Vettel, is in 4th place.
I was literally just about to say as well that it looked like Farina had checked out, been able to do his 2nd stop and still come out in the lead, and literally was about to say that before, as we cut to Farina on the side of the road.
That's both Gajiras parked on the exit of the 8-9 chicane, which... I'm trying to think of some memorable moments that happened on that in real life. There was... Nannini crashed, and then Alesi crashed to Nannini.
Yeah, that was scary. That his car properly breaks in half.
Yeah,
it's a good thing he was out of his car at that point.
Yeah, I think it was the season review commentary. Tony Jardine said that Alesi then used Nannini's car as a ladder to his perch on the top of the tyre barrier. Champion chicane, that's an obvious one. Then 1 and 2 is named Virage Senna. Let's see, Alonso, is he going to outbrake Bucknam into the first corner? He's trying.
That's a bit half-assed.
But Alonso having to back out of that one. So the 3 and 4, I think Frentzen had a couple of memorable moments, but for the wrong reasons, because in 2 separate seasons he's managed to injure himself at that chicane. In 99, brake failure, he fractured his leg, and then 2001 he spun and got concussion.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that. I know that Panis obviously busted his legs.
At turn 5, the one after that. So that's the Panis curve. And then 6 and 7, I think Jacques Villeneuve, inexplicably drove into the wall at that corner in 2006.
I think he got on the marbles, didn't he? It used to be really bad with marbles, this track, even when we had quite durable tyres.
Yeah, back in the days when the heat just tore the tarmac to pieces.
We could also call the one with the panis, we could call it Stroll Corner.
When
he had a little bit of a tank slapper and put Hartley up halfway up the wall.
Yeah, so that's a possibility as well.
Or we could just call every corner after Strolls.
I do think we need
Nepotism Bend 1, Nepotism Bend 2.
I do think we need a Villeneuve corner.
Yeah.
Do you know what's great? I don't know who's going to win. I don't know who's going to win this race.
No.
Bucknam holding up Alonso is helping Mason Taylor, but if Taylor, Bucknam and Alonso are two-stopping, then Vettel could win the race if he puts in a good set of in-laps to jump the lot of them. But if they're struggling to get past Chuck Bucknam, then this is helping Mason Taylor a lot.
Yeah, if I was a neutral, I'd be saying Fernando looks good now, but
only if he can overtake Chuck Bucknam.
And only if his car doesn't blow up. And only if Vettel doesn't cream into his arse in this corner here.
And there's a back marker coming into play as well.
Came out very differently to as I was intending it, actually.
So it's Antonio Giovinazzi that they're coming up to lap. And it's going to be a 6-car battle for second soon if Bucknam continues to hold up the pack. And actually behind them, Gonzalez is the fastest driver on the circuit as Mason Taylor pits into the lead. It goes Fernando Alonso just as Bucknam was coming into the pits. That's why.
He defended a lot considering he was going into the pits there.
Yes. So now it is Alonso into the race lead. Now he's free of Bucknam. Can he utilise the free air?
Yeah, let's see the pace of Vettel, who I think will be... It looks like Vettel's on a 3-stop strategy, so probably be a lot faster.
And I think just in the background as well, Chuck Bucknam's just got the jump on Vino Kimmonen for position, so Bucknam doing a number... No, is that... No, that's correct, never mind. I thought it was Lewis Hamilton, but ignore me. So, this is now the battle for the lead between Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel. Now, Alonso's not getting away from Vettel. I'm a bit confused as to that.
So Alonso's pit once, Vettel's pit twice.
Yes. In fact, yeah, that's why, because Vettel's on fresher tyres.
Yeah, so I think Vettel will cruise past him, and it's a case of whether he can make the extra pit stop.
Well, the shake and bake's good in a straight line, so it's not going to be an easy touch for Vettel.
That's because we fuel our cars with pure nitroglycerin. That is legal. That is legal.
So rounding the Virage Senna, the top 4 separated by 2.1 seconds. And Gonzalez is catching up to all 4 of them as well. Taylor 12.9 behind. Let's keep an eye out on the gap between Alonso and Taylor, because if Taylor laps quickly, then he could retake the lead once the top 5 make their final pit stops.
Where are the blue flags? Come on.
They're just there now, as Alonso's pitting at the end of this lap. And Giovinazzi doing his best to try and stay out of the way of everyone. And next to lap the Italian is Hamilton and Magnussen.
Is that definitely going to be a 2-stop if he pits this?
Yeah, I think it's still a 2-stop because it's on lap 44 now and 25 laps to go.
Just a slightly longer final stint.
Yes. So now, this is Vettel's turn to get some clear air and try and do something about Mason Taylor's lead.
Yeah, this could be where he does the damage. Goes Vettel.
So there's the flashing red lights. That's a nice little nuance.
Yeah, I'm gonna change my mind. I think Vettel's probably the favourite for this race now.
Yes, well, let's keep an eye out on the gap between Vettel and Taylor, because Vettel on low fuel, but Taylor on new tyres. So 12.2 is the gap between Vettel and Taylor, as Valtteri Bottas makes his second pit stop. Bottas is still in the race. He doesn't normally like finishing races. I've worked it out. In the last 24 races, he's only finished 8 of them. A finishing rate of 33%.
I'm sure there's a pun in there, something relating to his nationality being Finnish.
He's allowed to finish early. That's
That
as good
just
as I can
sounds
come up with.
that just sounds kind of dirty.
He's not running climax engines, so he can't go further with that joke.
Yeah. So I've already done my ad read as well, so I'm out. My obligations have been. Well, I haven't done the ad read.
I did
You
it for you.
Well, it wasn't even you. It was Nelson Mandela.
It was Harry Enfield's Nelson Mandela.
Yeah. It was you doing my ad read in the voice of Harry Enfield's Nelson Mandela.
That might not even make the cut. As Magnussen, that's an issue, but he's pitting. Can he make the pit stops? Come on, Kevin,
no.
Kevin. Make it into the pits. You Danish idiot.
Flaked out of that one like some pastry.
He's got a power steering problem. I've identified it there.
Yeah.
And that's an issue for Buckingham as well. And go on,
okay,
come on,
yeah.
help me, Magnussen. Help Magnussen get into the pits.
He's not in the car anymore. He's somehow the car's steering, but there's nobody in it anymore. And the marshal's gone. All right, I guess I'll push that one instead then.
So now Magnussen and Buckingham both out of the race. Right, I need to sort my car out. It's not reliable.
Reliability's for nerds.
It is actually. I've been working on the reliability stats for all the teams. At the moment, CBA have got a very bad reliability rate. They're at like 35%.
Yeah, but everyone likes Alfa Romeos. Alfa Romeos are unreliable. Everyone likes TVRs. TVRs are unreliable.
Something else I'm just going to point out. There's a little message on the barge board of that CBA. You look closely, it says Forza Alex, and that's in reference to Alex Zanardi, who sadly passed away recently.
That's a nice little... Yeah, I see that now, yeah.
And it was Alex Zanardi who won CBA the championship in the 93 season.
Yeah. Did he even win a race that season?
He did, he won 2.
Did he? Right.
He was 9 points behind in the championship leader in going to the final race with just 10 on offer, and he managed to overhaul that gap. Mostly because Rubens Barrichello decided to crash it from the lead with 3 laps to go.
I remember now. Yeah.
That was the most surreal FF1M moment, I think. Yeah.
Rubens just decided, no, I don't want to win.
No, I'm just going to hand it to Zanardi. I've had my time at the front. I've enjoyed it while it lasts. I'm just going to spaff it into the barrier.
I think that's a technical term, isn't it?
Yeah. So Taylor's not quick at this stage, so his new tyre's not working as well as expected because Alonso all over the back of that CBA. But the CBA is very difficult to overtake.
Yep. See, I've got a fair bit of grunt in my car, but I don't think it's as powerful as people think it is. Because in the last round of upgrades, I didn't actually do anything on the ICE. I just went purely ERS. And I've been afraid to touch the ERS settings because if you put it to anywhere 50 or over, suddenly it becomes a game of Russian roulette.
Yeah.
So it's I think my straight line prowess might be to do more with my efficiency. I think the engine is good, obviously. Please keep buying my engine, people. Need to keep my customers happy, and it's a good engine, but I think it's a particularly good engine in the back of my car when it's not on fire.
Yeah, that sort of makes sense actually, because in pre-season testing it did look as if Galaxy were having a car which was supposed to be decent in the corners because their straight line speeds were a little bit down compared to Shake and Bake, and maybe that's a follow-up reason as to why they're not making races. But Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton both in the pits, so let's keep an eye on Vettel's pit exit and see can he rejoin ahead of the battling Taylor and Alonso. And keeping an eye out on the left, I don't think he can. Vettel comes out just now, just behind Fernando Alonso. So that is for track position. So once Thomas Gonzalez makes his final pit stop, then this is the battle for the lead.
Yeah, Vettel's got a delta of, was that 7 laps?
Yeah, 6 or 7 laps.
Yeah. So,
6 laps, I think.
So still a decent advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Andrew's not that bad in a straight line as well.
I think it'll be difficult for Alonso to keep him behind. And he needs to get past this guy first.
Yes, the net race leader, because we're just waiting. Gonzalez not pitting just yet, so he's carrying on for a bit longer.
Yeah, very much being Grandpa Gonzalez right now, as far as Fernando's concerned.
Well, it's Grandpa Taylor that's chasing.
It is Taylor. Oh, yeah, I did that out.
No. So in the straight line, in the slipstream, can Alonso get past this time? He's got a better look into the chicane, but Taylor once again seeing to that by defending quite hard. So another lap. Gonzalez continuing on for another lap.
And that's Chandok coming up behind Alonso now.
I suppose the car is the... No, that's the wrong Indian driver. I was going to say that car is Gherkin coloured.
Yeah, that was Karthikeyan, wasn't it?
It was Karthikeyan, yeah. Now Gonzalez is going to pit at the end of this lap. Or, it wasn't on when Taylor started this lap, so can we switch to Gonzalez just to make sure that everything is okay with that CBA? Can't see him in the distance. I think it's okay, so Gonzalez still 10.6 seconds and 0.3 quicker in that first sector than Taylor. So where is Gonzalez going to rejoin? It's probably going to be behind Hamilton. I think Kimi Raikkonen still has another pit stop to make.
I'm surprised that Vettel isn't right on the gearbox of Alonso here.
I'm surprised as well. So with the new tyres,
There's the Grandpa.
speedy Grandpa into the pits. Where are his mechanics?
Invisible pit crew. The stealth overalls of CBA.
So there goes Mason Taylor back into the lead of the race. So that wasn't on my bingo card before the season, Mason Taylor in contention for a race win, but the CBA has been a very good car this season.
It has, yeah. It's just been fast but fragile.
Yes, a very competitive car, and yeah. So now, battle for the lead. It's a 5-way battle for the lead, and I suspect it's going to become a 6-way battle for the lead, because I think Gonzalez is just going to scream up to this quintet.
Yeah, not so Grandpa then.
I think Gonzalez actually holds the fastest lap of the race as well, so Gonzalez has been quick. He's just needed an opportunity to get some clear track.
Taylor's fast in all the right places, like in all the traction zones.
And defending in all the right places as well. So it's going to take some effort. But this is now the conclusion of the race. We've got 16 laps to go at the end of this one, and a 6-car scrap for the lead incoming.
He's got an okay run, but I think he's just going to close the door. In fact, he's not even going to get alongside him by the time we hit the brakes.
Oh, he was quite late on the brakes, was Alonso.
Interesting line there. That's going to leave him open to Vettel.
It is indeed, and is Vettel going to get up alongside into the first corner? Vettel has got the newer tyres, braking quite late, but Alonso shutting the door.
Yeah, thought that might end in tears there.
Yes, so Taylor's got another 16 laps to hang on. And I'm just waiting for the remainder of the pit. I think Kimi Raikkonen has made his final pit stop. He's now netted in 7th, 21 seconds behind race leader. Gonzalez is only 7 seconds behind his teammate. And was Bottas 2 stopping, or does he have another pit stop to make? And Caracciola fastest on the circuits. Where's that come from?
Again, is it coming into the pits?
No, she'd already made a final pit stop.
Right.
As Taylor takes more of an inside line into the casino hairpin.
That's gonna. I think Alonso's closer than he has been before at this point.
Yes, but Taylor has been quite aggressive with his defence. But here comes the slipstream of Fernando Alonso. Here comes the remainder of the straight. Taylor defending, Alonso choosing the outside, and that's a movement and contact between the two.
That was inevitable, yeah.
A bit inevitable. Mason cuts the chicane, and is Alonso going to get him this time? Yes, he is. It's
and
Vettel.
Yeah, Vettel's going to have a run on Alonso into turn 1.
Can he brake late? Not quite. So it is Fernando Alonso in the lead of the race now from Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, I'm going to go crying to AJ again with the defence there.
And that costs
about
Taylor
7 moves in that one for Taylor.
Well, let's count how many here. So, 1, outside 2, and then 3.
4, 5, 6, 7.
8, 9, 10. Bye!
Solid reference there.
And it's Max Verstappen. That's a retirement for the Dutchman with a puncture. That's at 3 and 4, where he's pulled off. Yeah, I think Bottas is on a 2-stop strategy. Curiously, Daniel Ricciardo on a 1-stop strategy. So I wouldn't have recommended that. As is Kimmonen now going to have a look at Sebastian Vettel. Alonso edging away from Vettel on this lap. And if Vettel continues to defend his position from Väinö Kimmonen, then that is only going to help the cause of Alonso.
Now,
Gonzalez was ahead of... That's Taylor under pressure from Hamilton. In fact, Hamilton's in a CBA sandwich.
Yeah, Gonzalez has already caught right back up.
Yes. And Hamilton versus Taylor into the final chicane. That's going to end not as well as you'd expect. Is Taylor going to do a job for his teammate, or is Hamilton going to get up alongside into the Virage Senna? It looks like it's going to be Hamilton taking 4th position off of Mason Taylor.
Taylor's been an absolute bandit today, hasn't he?
Complete bandit. I mean, fair enough if you're leading, but now that you've lost the lead, you might as well move over for Gonzalez, who is quicker at this stage. He's not making it difficult into the chicane, but Gonzalez being a bit cautious on the brakes as Taylor does a bit of curb hopping. And now this is Gonzalez's time.
Interesting to see.
There's yellows at the first corner. It's Kimmonen. I think Kimmonen has pulled off with an issue. Yes, he has. Yep. So both Tornadoes out of the race.
Is that a double retirement? Were they both out last time?
No, Leclerc won at Road America last time.
Yeah, of course he did.
And it's a gearbox problem for Kimmonen.
It's both Gajira's.
Yes.
Last time, yeah.
That's the double.
Yeah.
And it's still this battle for 4th position. And look at that top 3, Alonso, Vettel and Hamilton. Now that is a top 3. It's worth savouring. 3 outstanding drivers. Alonso, a 3-time champ. Vettel, a 2-time champ. And Hamilton, a 4-time champ in this world.
So it looks like... I was wondering if Alonso was pulling away from Vettel because Vettel was busy fighting Hamilton, but it looks like that's not the case.
Not anymore, no. So Vettel... I think Alonso might just have had the better race setup overall compared to Vettel.
Was that the smashed up remains of? Yeah, I think that was the smashed up remains of Leclerc still on the track and on turn 2.
It might have been Kimmonen actually.
Might have been Kimmonen actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Leclerc was on the other side of the exit of the second corner. Is there a battle for 7th incoming between Valtteri Bottas and George Russell? George Russell is in the points for Tilsley.
Yeah, Gajira Graveyard we're going past. Maybe that's what we should call that chicane.
The Gajira Graveyard.
Yeah.
Into the hairpin. Is Gonzalez going to have a look? He certainly is going to have a look into the hairpin. We haven't seen an overtake into that corner yet, and we still aren't. Because Gonzalez was being a bit cautious there.
Yeah, very polite.
I quite fancy Russell for 7th actually, because the Tilsley is good in a straight line, and the GRM of Bottas is on older tyres, having run a 2-stop strategy.
I think that maybe it's just my imagination, but it looked like Taylor was being less aggressive in his defence with Gonzalez, and I do wonder if there is something built into the AI that makes them less aggressive with the teammates, perhaps.
It's an interesting theory.
I think AJ may be able to confirm or deny that, and also confirm or deny whether GRM are getting kicked out of the race and whether James Brickles is getting kicked out of the championship for manipulating his warm-up settings.
Well, he might as well disqualify me because I'm out of the points.
Could disqualify me for making bogus disqualification attempts as well. Didn't that happen in real F1 where it was like Irvine made like a bogus appeal to a race ban and got a 3 race ban instead?
Yeah, he tried to appeal his 1 race ban, but they extended it to 3 races.
I like that.
Yeah. I think they said that he was just too nonchalant. So into the final chicane, late on the brakes. This time Gonzalez does take 4th position off of his teammate. But both CBAs in the points, and this could be Mason Taylor's first career points as well, so it'd be a great result for them. And at the moment, Bottas still hanging on ahead of George Russell. Here is that battle, and just behind is Mattia Alfonsi in the AJ. He's had a quiet race, but is George Russell going to outbrake Bottas into the first corner? No, Bottas takes care of that one.
Thought we were going to have a Massa Perez moment there for a second.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen. In fact, let's hope it happens to those three, then Caracciola gets a point.
I was going to say, that's very mature of you to be like, no, let's hope we have a nice clean race.
I say let's get
I'm always just like, if you see four cars fighting, I'm thinking, oh yes, okay, right, take each other out. Oh my guy.
Well, I say let's get out there and twat it. So there's yellow flags out. There's somebody pulled off.
Oh god.
Who has pulled off somewhere?
That's in the graveyard.
It's Grosjean in the other willows.
Just see the Jesse B sign.
Yeah. Is that Vettel ahead of Alonso? No, it's not. It's Daniel Ricciardo about to be lapped by Fernando Alonso, who comes into the final chicane. And this is a final lap. And taking his second win of the season is Fernando Alonso for Shake and Bake. And that is a big gulp into Farina's championship lead. So much, he's in the lead of the championship.
Yeah, that's certainly not got the fastest car, I don't think, but maybe being a little bit conservative on those engine modes this year is helping me a little bit.
Maybe so, but that was a great race, I thought. Like, no idea who was going to win before the final round of stops. And Vettel, he's back after the miserable season that he's had so far. He's second in this race ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Second consecutive podium for the Mitchell. This one more on merit. He's been quick all weekend as Hamilton.
Yeah, Vettel's been brutally unlucky this season. And yeah, a good finish for CBA as well. I think they've had some reliability woes too. Fairly
poor reliability, but 4th and 5th is a good result, as Kimi Raikkonen gets 6th for AJ ahead of Bottas. And George Russell gets a point. He didn't quite get Bottas at the end, but he gets another point for Tilsley.
Yeah, nice little one of the FF1M minnows punching above the weight there.
Absolutely, and there's the list of retirements. Certainly the most dramatic one being Charles Leclerc, being absolutely cataclysmed by Grosjean.
Channeled his inner Alex Wirtz there, didn't he?
Yes, that's a nice reference, that. Yeah, bit annoyed with Magnussen's retirement, because that could have been a good result. And that's confirmation of Alonso in the lead of the championship by a single point from Farina. Clark 3rd, Kinnunen 4th, Leclerc 5th, so that's as you were. I think the big gainer has been Lewis Hamilton going up to... That should be 6th actually on countback. He's had 2 third places in a row compared to Magnussen, so let's say that. Gonzalez 8th, and Vettel moves up into the top 10.
Vettel with tripling his points tally for the season with that one?
Tripling it indeed, yeah. And that's the state of the team's championship. It's now 11 between you and Tornado, but it's 16 between Gajera and Shake and Bake. I rescued that. Mitchell and CBA now move ahead of FJR for 4th and 5th. And meanwhile, further back, are there any different movers? I think that's Andrew moving back up to 7th ahead of AJ and Willows.
Yep, I'm happy with that.
I'm not. That was the Canadian Grand Prix. We'll be heading over to Austria, not for the Red Bull Ring. We're going to the Österreich Ring.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I'm looking forward to that one.
That's going to be carnage.
That's going to be fast. So, from the two of us, we shall see you for then.
Bye-bye.